you a certified lover boy, Bjorn?
Maybe.
Certified. What? Come on. So in celebration of Kendrick defeating Drake, I have had ChatGPT write us up a diss track on our number one competitor, Joe Rogan.
Jesus Christ. Okay, Hushav, let's get it. Need a beat. Let me drop a beat, child.
It's way too slow.
Oh, wait, like, don't do it.
Do a drum roll. Right. Yo, listen up. Here's the deal. Let me spill the real Joe Rogan podcast, man. It's time to reveal. Claiming to be open-minded, but it's just a facade. Spewing sway to silence like it's some kind of god. Joe Rogan, what's the deal with your show? Spreading misinformation, man. It's gotta go. From aliens to DMT all over the place. But where's the truth, Joe? It's a disgrace. Guest sprouting nonsense, unchecked and free. Conspiracy theories, bros. It's just not what we need. From anti-vaxxers to climate change deniers, your platforms are breeding ground for liars. Joe Rogan, what's the deal with your show? Spreading misinformation, man, it's got to go. From alpha brains to alchemy, you're pushing snake oil, but where's the substance, Joe? It's all toil. You may have the numbers, the listeners, the clout, but when it comes to credibility, you're in doubt. It's time to wake up, Joe, and see and see the harm you've done. Your podcast ain't enlightening; it's a loaded gun. So listen up, Rogan. It's time to change your tune. Ditch the quacks, the charlatans, or face the gloom. The truth matters, Joe. It's not just a game. Clean up your act, or forever to blame. Ooh, phone drop.
That's actually not bad.
It's not bad.
It's not bad, my child. Did you rehearse it beforehand?
No.
Wow. I was like, in my head, I was picturing you like spending hours last night.
It's like in the mirror. I'm a lyrical, spiritual individual.
Part of me was a bit worried that it would be the same length as Euphoria. I know sometimes we have to fill for time, but cheapers. Good work, dude.
Thanks, man.
Do I remember any part of it? No, except there was something about a gun.
Well,
and,
I was
toil.
gonna do it over. So Metro Boomin dropped the first ever diss beat on Drake, and he's just getting people to rap over it, with a prize of 10 grand for the best one. So just like hundreds of thousands of people are just rapping over this beat.
Was it Metro Boomin and J. Cole? Did they make a song together?
No, it's Metro Boomin and Future and Kendrick Lamar who started the beat.
Right. Was it the it's not the big three, it's just the big me?
Yeah.
That was that song?
Yeah.
Okay. What happened since then?
All right. It all started. Okay. No, yeah, so yeah, that comes out, and then J. Cole drops a diss track called 7 Minute Drill on Kendrick.
I'm sorry, he drilled Kendrick for 7 minutes.
Well, yeah. Just like being like, oh, you're not a good rapper. And I think a couple days after he dropped it, he apologized to Kendrick Lamar. He was on stage at a concert. He's like, I'm actually going to be taking down the diss track. It's not who I am. It's not what I want to be spreading. And it came out in like later weeks from then, because this was like 3 weeks ago, that another rapper, Schoolboy Q, had called up Cole and was like, yo, Cole, this is like real to Kendrick. Like, he's going to go in on Drake. You should maybe step aside from this. And J. Cole's like, all right, I'm going to remove myself from the situation. So yeah, that's the first part of it.
Okay, wait, so is at this point where we stand now, is it just Drake?
The only diss tracks have been dropped now are the Kendrick, Metro Boomin, and Future doing it. Then there was the J. Cole response. Then there's nothing for a while. And then Drake drops his one. What was the name of his? Wasn't Family Matters came after? Because he dropped, I can't remember the name. Oh, it was Push Ups. Yeah, that's right. It was called Push Ups. It's basically full of like short jokes about Kendrick Lamar, my short king. And just like exposing him, saying that he doesn't earn as much because the splits that he has, he's giving 50 away to someone else, because like 50% of to like some, not studio but record label or something. So he's like, oh, you're not rich, like, because you give away most of your money.
I mean,
not give away, but have to.
Yeah, but also 50% of like 500 million is still a shit ton of money. Okay, a bit of a dick measuring contest for sure.
And then like
To be fair, is it even cool to make fun of someone's height anymore? Like for the most part, short kings have risen up. People aren't as hectic, or not as openly hectic about height as they were. I mean,
Not
you
anymore, but
being a
like-
short king.
But like hip hop culture still, but like I got a big dick and all of that. So it's more
Yeah,
like
yeah, that's
toxic.
so uncool, dude. Having a tiny dick is like pretty cool nowadays.
To be fair, like and Drake, that
Kieran can relate.
push-ups did have like some very like funny lines, which I giggled at, but it was like very like surface level. But now because of so many other stuff that come on, I can't even like remember lines. Like I remember like drop and give me 50, but I can't like remember like the like funny shit that he said about Kendrick. Anyways, and then 2 days later, then Drake drops an AI track that has Tupac and Snoop Dogg like just rapping over it. AI, obviously. And like people like Snoop Dogg is probably high out of his mind right now, wondering like when the fuck did I record this?
Wasn't there? I definitely remember there being some backlash to that.
Yeah. I think it was called Tailor Made.
Oh, and now the whole issue is that can we actually trust whatever's being said in a song? Like how much of it is going to be AI versus how much is the actual
Person.
artist?
But anyways, like when you have Tupac on a rapping of a beat, I'm pretty sure that's AI at that point.
I mean, yeah. And like, I'm not. That's not the part that I'm like questioning. But also, sorry, this is a whole different thing about copyright and stuff. But how much of an artist's voice belongs to the label they belong to?
If you'd ask the label, they'd probably be like
100%.
Yeah.
At a push, 99.9.
It should be a partnership of like an industry helping an individual.
But it's not. It's 100%
It's not. It's just
either way. I'm so sorry. That's
exploitative.
Yeah, it derailed for sure. But okay, so what was Kendrick dropped that with Tupac in inverted commas and Snoop
Drake
Dogg
releasing an AI track.
sorry, yeah.
Which is still dissing Kendrick.
Oh, but also
Tailor Made.
Yeah.
And it's also a little bit about how he says Kendrick plays to the white man by like doing songs with Maroon 5 and Taylor Swift.
And then Kendrick clapped back by saying
like a week and a bit later.
By saying that Drake weaponizes his skin color in different ways to
Euphoria.
to appeal to different. And so Euphoria is a 6.5 minute song, right?
6.5 minutes.
Got dropped a week ago.
Yeah, maybe a week and a bit from now.
Okay.
Yes, a week and a bit, because last week Friday was when Kendrick basically dropped back to back. So I think it was Wednesday Euphoria comes out, or Thursday Euphoria comes out. Last week Thursday.
Dude, you're getting so excited. You're like burp. You look uncomfortable in your skin right now.
I'm good.
You're like burping and like speaking frantically.
I'm in my element here. All right. So I'm pretty sure it was Thursday Euphoria drops, and then Friday night. I remember because I was out with my roommate at a games night, and all of a sudden I get.
Sorry, that took such a turn. Yeah, no, I was out. I was partying at a games night.
This one of her friends invented like this online board game, and so he was using us to like trial it out. So we went over to his place. It was pretty cool. It needs to work out some kinks, but it's pretty fun. Anyways, so then 6:16 drops, which is basically Kendrick putting out a warning shot to like, you sure you want to do this, my guy?
Wait, I'm sorry. So Euphoria drops and
Thursday,
then 6:16.
And then Friday, Kendrick drops again with 6:16.
But isn't Euphoria... Okay, it can't be a warning shot if it comes after the actual killing blow.
No, because in the song Euphoria, Kendrick talks about how he has people in OVO, Drake's camp, are leaking stuff to him on his payroll, basically. And so he's basically saying, I know what you're going to do tonight. Don't do it. And he has and the album cover is just one of Drake's like gloves that he usually wears in his concerts, which is just like whatever.
Okay.
So anyways, then later that night, Drake drops Family Matters, which is in the style of Family Strokes, if you know that TV series, written in that same font.
Okay.
And it's basically like going at Kendrick, saying he beats up his wife, more short jokes, the more stuff like that. Also a 6-minute song. But in that song, he doesn't just address Kendrick. He's addressing a lot of other people. because everybody hates Drake and he's trying to go at everybody.
Pause.
Excuse me, I needed to
Hydrate.
Yeah. All right, so then 15 to 30 minutes later, Kendrick drops his response.
It took him 30 minutes to write a banger.
So he already had it locked and loaded. This was the entire thing
Oh.
why he dropped 616. He's like, don't do it. I know what you're gonna do.
Mm.
And now it's a zoomed out photo of that glove, and it's like a bunch of Drake's shit that somebody in his camp has laid out, and you can see like there's a prescription for Ozempic. You know that diabetic drug that all the celebrities are taking in order to lose weight?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like with Drake's name, Aubrey Graham, and a bunch of other drugs which are all prescribed to Aubrey Graham, which is Drake's real name.
Yeah.
So somebody in OVO I got Drake's shit, laid it out, took a picture, and sent it to Kendrick.
Jeepers.
And then Kendrick's diss track was called Family Matters, which is also another sitcom. So it's the same theme as what Drake did with Family Strokes, except this is Meet the Grahams now, which is, I can't remember the name of the sitcom, which is parodying off. But you can tell basically Kendrick had somebody on the inside. He knew what was going to happen. He knew the theme that Drake was going to drop with, and he did the exact same thing. But in his one, Meet the Grahams, he goes in deep. He starts on like, I'm sorry, Adonis. And Adonis is Drake's son. Like, he's addressing.
Do me a favor. So Kendrick, and name of the song is Family Matters.
No, Meet the Grahams.
Sorry.
And then Drake's one is Family Matters.
Right. Where are the lyrics? Okay. I'm just going to read through a couple minutes of this now. It does, in fact, start with Dear Adonis.
If you want, we can play it because it's not going to get
I'm
acclaimed.
sorry that man is your father. Let me be honest.
Do you don't want to play it in the background?
Just
while
while
you
talk
go through the
about it.
lyrics.
No, I'm okay,
Okay.
thank you. Let's Wait, just give me some of the highlights.
He addresses Adonis directly. He addresses his mom directly. He addresses his dad directly. And then he reveals that Drake has a secret daughter, which is a huge bomb drop. Because if you remember, the last time Drake was in a big beef was with Pusha T. And Pusha T revealed that he had a son. And nobody knew that Drake had a son, which was Adonis. And he basically bullied Drake into being a better dad. Because at that point, like, Drake was not in Adonis's life at all.
Side note, I just one of the lines. So as I'm seeing here, every stanza of the song is addressed to a different member of the family, right? So the first part is towards Adonis.
Yeah.
And there's a line in here. Let me be your mentor since your daddy don't teach you shit. That's so fucking hectic.
And then see in the next line, he says, never let a man piss on your leg.
son.
Because T.I. revealed that Drake once let somebody pee on his leg. And so he's basically like saying there, like, if anybody does that, you can't understand. You should pop that guy in the head. He's just trying to give him like life lessons.
Never code switch, whether right or wrong. You're a black man. Yo, dude, this is Dear Sandra. That's a long Dear Baby Girl, meaning the unclaimed daughter.
She's apparently 11 years old.
Jesus Christ Almighty. Dear Aubrey, and so that's obviously 4.
Yeah.
And the final line. Fuck a rap battle. This is a long life battle with yourself. Fuck me dead. Dude. It's just like every single line.
So in Drake's Family Matters, Kendrick Lamar has a very, very famous album, Good Kid, Mad City, kind of like what he broke out with, and there's a van on the album cover. So in Drake's song, he did a video for it also, in Family Matters, and it's him picking up that van and taking it off to like one of those compactors and having it like compacted.
Yeah.
Trying to like be like fuck you, like you're not relevant anymore by like doing that to that iconic van. Anyways, so yeah, Meet the Grahams drops, and then the next day, Kendrick drops again with.
Sorry, this is
Saturday now.
Right, because Friday.
dropped-
Thursday we had Euphoria. Friday we had 616.
616 and Meet the Grahams.
And Meet the Grahams.
Yeah.
And then on Saturday we have.
Not Like Us.
And what is Not Like Us about, Hushaf?
Is basically Kendrick beating Drake at his own game. Like, a lot of what Drake does is like, you don't have as many number one hits as I do, like
Yeah.
not as popping off as me. So he's like, okay. So he goes to DJ Mustard, and DJ Mustard makes him a beat, and it's now the number one song in the world. It broke the record for the most streams in a single day, only for the next day to break that record again.
It's holding the first and second place right now. Dude, that's insane.
Yeah, and in that song again, it's him being a bit more like silly and more like with the jokes,
Mm-hmm.
but he directly calls him a pedophile in the song.
Dude,
And so
this
you
is-
have Oxford English lit professors coming out and like dissecting the songs,
understandably, for sure.
and they having like a great time. They're getting views or whatever. And there's some lawyers who are even coming out and talking about the latest one, and they're like, Kendrick wouldn't be saying what he's saying without evidence.
But also, in general, I think there was when was it passed? But there is a law saying you cannot use anything from a rap song or music in general as evidence in court. That's based on a court case from a couple years back where a rapper they were trying to, persecute him based on saying like he popped a cap on someone in a song and then that person died in real life.
Oh,
But
was
we
that
don't-
not the 6ix9ine?
Shit. Potentially. Dude, my memory of hip hop is bad at best.
I think that was 6ix9ine.
This is the most I've talked about hip hop in like
Oh, I forgot the album cover for Not Like Us
Mm-hmm.
is a picture of Drake's house, and in America they've got this registry with where you can see the sex offenders.
offenders
So
registry.
he's put all those like a bunch of those pins over his house.
Holy shit.
It was a great 2-3 weeks. for
Okay, because
hip-hop.
that's a week ago now. A week ago
Yeah.
is that the last update?
And then Drake dropped one more song. I think it was on Tuesday or Wednesday. Fuck, I can't even remember what it was called. It was just like really bad, and it was like, oh, dude, maybe you just shouldn't have said anything. What was it? I can't even remember the name.
I'm
It's
cringing.
basically him just like being a sad little boy. He's like, I hear you have more diss tracks. Go on and drop it. I don't care. It doesn't hurt my feelings.
Maybe he was trying to do the B Rabbit thing from 8 Mile, where it's like, yeah, I am a bum. Yes,
He
I
did-
am a
he-
PDF file.
They were in the AI song. He basically says, "Yeah, I do. I do like underage girls."
Hello
Oh,
and
and it was
welcome
also-
to the Underleveled podcast. My name is Bjorn.
We're a hip hop podcast now, right?
Well, sure. we engage with all members of society, regardless of interests. We engage with anime people. We engage with gamers. We engage with hip hop fans. We engage with what else? We're allies. We're allies to all groups.
Allies.
Whatever you are, whatever you be.
Anyways, I'm glad that we had hip hop this last few weeks because gaming has been depressing me. It seems each publisher or big publisher are trying to outdo the others to be the worst.
Let's start name. Should we make our own diss track for publishers? I can't rap. It's frankly not surprising. I can't rap.
Hey everybody, I'd like to say I like to rap in a very white way.
Edu rap is my thing. I love educational rap.
You know, that's how KSI started his YouTube channel, doing educational raps.
No.
Yeah, he was doing stuff on like chemistry to like help him remember, and he would
That's so
upload it.
Ironically, he still cannot rap. That being said, I do like some of his songs. What's it? Is Holiday? Holiday is the good one. That I've really enjoyed. My goodness. He's an international superstar nowadays,
He is,
though.
yeah.
It's crazy to me.
Out there being in WrestleMania. Well, that was last year. This year was Speed at WrestleMania.
Okay, yeah, but yes. So
All right, so yeah.
what we're actually talking about
yeah,
today is
which shit studio do you want to start talking about first? Or publisher?
this is a bit of old news, but I do want to talk about Battle State Games for a second. The
Sure.
developers of
Tarkov.
yes, this game from Tarkov. Okay. So this is a bit of old news. It's about a month ago, maybe
It's
a bit
still very relevant right now. I mean, they
Yeah.
haven't really resolved it.
more. For a bit of context, I don't know, Hushaf, you've never played Escape from Tarkov, eh?
I have watched many a streamer play Tarkov,
Really?
but not me.
For real?
Yeah.
I didn't even know. Is it your kind? Is it your kind of game?
I think it's very fun. Like, because I really enjoyed like Daisy, not Daisy. Which was the original before Fortnite? There was another
Not Armor.
Armor. It was Armor.
Because
3?
Armor 3, and then Daisy was a mod of Armor 3.
PUBG was also. I didn't really do a
yes.
lot of PUBG.
Sorry,
But
that
I always
is
like those type of
Rick, our
games.
sound guy, coming in chirping from the background. But so the idea of Escape from Tarkov is a brutal looter shooter, right? It's meant to be this like hyper realistic, super like engaging and immersive experience for people that don't like the unnecessarily fast paced like alternative of Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Right? Your Valorant, your Call of Duty, all that stuff is just like, it's arcadey. And that's cool. But you have literally people in Tarkov, a single. Okay, basically, you have your like home screen where you have your character and you have your base, your stash, whatever. And you load into these different maps and you have different missions. There's vendors that you go to, all this kind of thing. There's a lot to do in the game. But when you load into a map, it's literally like a 40-minute to an hour-long event where you need to do stuff in this map and then extract successfully. And you have people playing it super slowly and methodically with like snipers and ghillie suits. You also have people that run in, and it's very tactical. You need a proper headset so you can hear where people are. It's phenomenal game, and that was the whole point of it. And then, and then the developers are like, but we really want every single cent you have.
But there's always been an element of pay to win in Tarkov.
Yes, there have always been balancing issues, but not as bad as they've gotten in the last like little while.
Yes.
And odds are they'll probably get worse. But the basic premise of
Russian developers, eh?
I think so, but they do have a London-based office as well. That's been getting a lot of backlash, I think. But essentially, when you buy Tarkov, you have different tiers that you can buy. And obviously, the more you pay, the more benefits you have, which is the pay-to-win element, where you maybe have bigger inventory, you have less wait times for some stuff, whatever it might be. The basic is $50. And then there were a couple other tiers. And there used to be, the top tier was Edge of Darkness, which is $150. And part of that deal was that you would receive all future DLC for free. Like if you bought that, and obviously the game's still in beta, it's still being developed, you were guaranteed a lifetime, like a season pass essentially to this game. And at some point, I think it's a month and a bit ago now, Battlestate Games came up with, or they restructured their tiers, with the top tier now becoming in at $250.
Is it called the gold tier?
No, it's called the Unheard edition. And part of that edition, the $250, it said receive all DLC, all future DLC for free. And besides that, there were a whole bunch of balancing issues in there that just made it even more pay to win. But the important part there is that all future DLC for free thing. And the people that had previously bought the Edge of Darkness no longer had that line in their deal that they'd gotten, which is like really fucked up. And people were like, hold on, what's going on here? This is weird. Part of the new Unheard edition, the $250 one, was also that they would have priority access to the PvE mode that was going to be hopefully coming out soon. And that was formally promised to the Edge of Darkness people as well. So, you know, rightfully so, the gamers were up in arms saying, what the heck is going on? This is not what you promised us. Nikita, the spokesperson for Battlestate Games, I don't know, is he the CEO or just the representative? I don't know. But the man went on Reddit to answer questions, and officially the statement they released for that discrepancy between the PvE mode being for some people and not others was that it wasn't actually DLC because it is technically like a new game mode or a game feature, which is really fine print bullshit that just rightfully pissed so many people off even more. And when the backlash kind of like got worse and worse and worse, he went on Reddit, and the opening line to his Reddit post, let me just find it.
Dear gamers, I wish that man wasn't your father.
It was essentially like, I'm sorry that you guys felt that way. Like,
oh, you mad, bro?
It's so.
I looked up. He's the COO.
Yes. Okay. So ever since then, like, they've changed a couple things, try to balance the tiers a bit better. But long story short, if you pay the $250, you have an unfair advantage. You are so like ahead of every other player in the game, and on top of that, Tarkov experiences these things called wipes, where it is still in development. So every couple of months, I think every 6 months or so, they wipe everything off their servers in order to install updates and improvements. So essentially, every 6 months, every person playing Tarkov gets to restart the game from zero, which is fun in its own way. I think it's kind of become part of the community to like talk about new strategies for the new wipes and so on. The thing being, if you pay like more, the more you pay, it means they actually allot you server space so that you do not get reset. And the new modes and so on will allow you to actually have character progression that does not get reset. And it's just, I'm just like angry. I think it's just so dumb. Your core idea was like this almost brutal, realistic gaming experience, a first-person shooter gaming experience. You've taken that and you've become so greedy with it to completely change what that experience can be for your player base. It's so disrespectful, and they have backpedaled a bit. They've rebalanced. They've done all these things, but at the end of the day, they tested the waters. It didn't work out this time, but in a couple months, we're going to see how many people actually potentially bought that $250 bundle, who have spent crazy amounts of money, and maybe at the end of the day, barring the bit of like PR disaster it was for Battlestate Games, maybe they're like,
as long as it doesn't affect their bottom dollar, they're not going to care.
Yeah, man. And so that's actually why I wanted to start with this story specifically, because it is a concurrent theme throughout the industry that at like right now, regardless of whether you're AAA or AA, indie, whatever you are, it's all about arrow go up. It's at the like all people care about right now is arrow go up, stock price, buy low, buy low, sell high. It's across the board.
Do you think there would have been as much of a backlash if they were like, okay, people who bought $150 tier, you will still, if you've already bought them, you'll still get your updates. But anybody who buys it from now on, sorry, that's done. If you want that, you're gonna have to get the $250 now.
No, and it wouldn't have been as bad. I don't think they definitely would have received backlash. I think they should have just made an extra tier for people that wanted to support them more, and then, like on Reddit especially, you'll find the comment sections are just like, nah, fuck this guy, across the board. Like this one Reddit post I've got up here from just over 2 weeks ago, is all about some of the rebalancing and stuff in the bundles. And it's like, thank you, take care from the dev team. And the top comment is just about how long it'll take for like they're guaranteeing access for certain people to this PvE mode. And the first comment is just like, the fuck? Like 6 months? Are you on crack? Like, just every comment section is just the players being angry and frustrated with the dev team. And actually, it's not the devs. It's 100%. It is not the dev team, because they don't get paid more if the game sells more. The people that get paid more are the COOs, it's the CFOs, it's the corpos, it's those dickheads that get bonuses and all kinds of like bonuses to their lifestyle if the game sells more. And it's because of them that these things are being implemented. And across the board, players do not want things that break the game balance. So many different games do well with cosmetics. Fortnite does incredibly well with cosmetics without actually changing the gameplay.
Dota 2, League of Legends.
Correct, exactly, right? For the most part, people buy cosmetics and it earns a lot of money. So the fact that Battlestate Games is trying a different method to siphon as much money as they possibly can out of their player base, but doing it in such a way that actually ruins the gaming experience for everyone, barring the people that are willing to shell out disgusting amounts of money. it's exhausting. I don't know. Yeah.
I think for like gaming, it's very weird because like you can do something, but they will always be someone else who can take what you're doing and probably do it better and cheaper. So they're running that risk of someone else being like, fuck this shit, let's go do our own Tarkov.
I don't know how true that is. I wouldn't agree with you.
I've seen it. I think Yandere Dev was the last one where because he was taking so long, other people went out and made a better Yandere simulator.
Do you have an example?
I can't remember the name of. I think it was called Love Game, and he had his community go and mass report it, send a lot of abuse, and then the creator ended up stopping production because of that. And there's another one that was doing really well, but then he also had pedo allegations come out about him, and then he had to stop production on his game also. I'm trying to think of other examples.
But okay, so just as a side note, your example was someone will take the idea and make it better.
Yeah.
What you've said right now is that people try to take that idea and make it better, but have failed.
Not failed.
It's not serving your argument, Husha.
But toxicity and other things. I mean, I think the pedophile guy would have done really well if the pedophile allegations didn't come out against him.
So you heard it here first, folks. Husha is in support of pedophiles.
PDF files. Anyways, review bombing, people uninstalling. What were the numbers looking like once the news dropped? Do you know?
I do not have specific numbers, unfortunately. I can look them up. Maybe I'll just plot them right over here. Hello, this is Editing Bjorn here. Just wanted to cut in to talk about some of the stats about Escape from Tarkov and the backlash it's gotten. Weirdly enough, there was an increase in viewership on Twitch when the restructuring and the whole drama happened. But there was also an uptick for a Tarkov competitor called Grey Zone Warfare at the same time. But apparently the game is also kind of shit, so who knows if that actually will affect anything. Otherwise, it's kind of tough to know the actual stats and whether there's been an increase or decrease, whether anyone's actually bought the new package, just because Escape from Tarkov is not on Steam. So, yeah, only time will tell if the game eventually just like fades into nothingness or if it succeeds in this whack-ass venture that they've gone into. How long do I have to do this for?
You're editing it.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so that was, I think, the first big one that led us down a bunch of other very depressing gaming news.
Yeah, so in general, the gaming landscape has not been fun the last little while. And it's, I don't know, do you want to, what do you have that ties
so
into
from
gaming companies being
Escape from Tarkov, we go to Sony and Helldivers. So Helldivers 2, very successful, very surprising game this year. AA game, third-person shooter, online co-op. There's another word that I can't remember that describes
live service?
Live service game. Probably the best example of a live service game.
Done well.
Yeah. Recent failure is kill the Suicide Squad. Kill the Justice League.
I got things to say about them as well just now.
Warner Brothers, man. I don't know what the fuck is happening with them.
I've got a whole segment planned. Don't stress. But please, okay. So
if we're gonna shit talk Zaslav, I'm there for it.
Okay, so here's the thing, right? I know a bit about the Helldivers 2 news.
All right.
But I don't know enough to talk about it.
So Sony is the publishers for Helldivers 2, and basically, and right now anybody can get the game. Anybody can play it, even though on PC or PlayStation, which is the only places available. But Sony implemented a change where you needed a PSN account in order to log into the game and play, which is fine, whatever, because a lot of gaming studios do this.
You can just make a PSN account, right? Like for instance, Rockstar had their social club where you had to make an account.
Yeah,
to play on
Epic
Rockstar.
Games. You have to have your Epic Games account to play.
Right, so it's that kind of thing. You don't need a PlayStation to have a PSN account.
Except in certain countries, you are not able to make a PlayStation account.
I think in Africa, it's just South Africa.
I could be. I was looking at the list, and there were a lot of African countries on that list.
Okay, well, I'm wrong. But out of 51 countries, maybe.
I think it was 270 countries or something cannot play Helldivers
There are
anymore.
not 270 countries in the world, my friend.
Then I'm wrong.
I think on the list, there's 50 countries where you can, and there's 160 where you can't
Let me
make a
see.
PSN account.
Fuck, there was no number here. But I'll send this.
You keep talking. I'm going to look it up right now.
I'm pretty sure I saw the number.
Just keep talking. Don't stress about-
177 countries where PSN isn't available.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? So
I was 100 off. I was thinking 277, 100. I had 2 out of the 3 numbers right.
I was so much closer. I was so insanely closer.
So anyways, yeah, so there's 177 countries where it is not you're not able to make a PlayStation Network account.
And in the terms of service, generally they say, oh, if you fake your country of origin, we can at any point suspend your account or delete your account, right?
So that is 177 countries out of how many countries are there? Well, I think
there's 211 or 217, something like that.
So what, 2/3 of the world you're cutting off?
More.
It's insane. So there was huge uprising. And the thing about the Helldivers community is they're very surprisingly wholesome, and they're very cooperative and collaborative with one another. Back when Helldivers was first popping off, there was a huge push by the player base to get it onto Microsoft, because they really wanted more players, and they wanted the Microsoft bros to be able to hop on and enjoy spreading democracy with everyone else. So there was huge pushback in the community. I haven't seen gaming community so organized in such a long time. People writing into PlayStation, online campaigns.
So also, for the most part, this decision was made by PlayStation.
By
100%.
Sony.
The Arrowhead, the studio behind
Yes.
Helldivers 2 in general, they are accepted as being like gamers and for gaming and big proponents of just a better gaming space. So this decision is 100% once again from your higher ups, your producers, your managerial staffs. There we go.
So some of the developers did get some unnecessary abuse, and you can see they're trying their best not to say anything because they don't want to, make their publishers mad. But the community manager for Helldivers, who runs basically their Twitter, the official Twitter, and their Discord, was basically telling people, hey, review bomb and uninstall the game. This will get Sony's attention. Which, it worked. That message was spread around. Massive review bombing on Helldivers on Steam. Massive uninstallations.
I think I saw a screenshot of who's the name of the head of the studio?
John something like that.
He's got a Scandinavian kind of name.
I think his first name is English, and then the second part is
Scandinavian. Scared.
Big summer blowout.
Big summer blowout.
Jonah Pilestedt.
Pilestedt.
Yeah.
I don't know if it is he.
It's like Pile STE.
So Bogstead, Stead is like a very common family name. It's like saying son, generally, like Johan's son, but Stead, like Bogstead and Pilestedt, whatever.
The more you know.
Yeah, man.
That's actually very interesting.
Yeah. Stead might actually just be from like farm, like homestead or farmstead, meaning you come from a certain like steading, I guess. I'm guessing, but like, I don't know, could be cool. Either way, I saw a screenshot of his on X, Twitter. I think it was like the review scores for Helldivers 2 on Steam, and it's like a couple like positives pretty much every single day, and then just a red line down to the bottom of the screen. And
he's very active on Twitter, and he basically like put out the equivalent saying like, I see what's happening and we are trying our best, without like directly saying fuck you, Sony, and what you're doing.
Because they, at the end of the day, Arrowhead will be not responsible to, they have to report to PlayStation.
Yeah.
Which is, Sony. It's part of their deal. Like, they have to do that, which sucks.
So eventually, I think this went on for about a week before Sony came out to be like, hey, community, we hear you. We need to redo our decisions. We realized that we were wrong. So we will be rolling back the change that we made. So everybody was like, yay, happy days. We won. Gamers unite.
Is there fine print here, though?
There is, kinda. So what they've sneakily done is they have now taken the game offline from the countries, from those 177 countries. So you can't download the game anymore. So everybody that uninstalled it, to show their hatred
Vitriol is good. That's a good word.
with Sony, now they can't hop back on into Helldivers. And so now this is still breaking news because this was only really discovered yesterday. So we still need to see the response of gamers and what's gonna happen moving forward. But I can probably guess another round of mass review bombing, more installations from the countries that can uninstall them. But yeah, I don't know where we go from here, where Sony are holding fast to denying 177 countries the opportunity to play Helldivers.
That's it's infuriating because like what how does it harm you? You as a company, how does it harm you to allow people to pay you? They are paying you money to play a game that you are like publishing, and it's just because they don't fucking subscribe to your newsletter essentially that you're like, nah, you can't play it. It's such a like tantrum. It's genuinely just a tantrum. Like, there's no negative for Sony to allow the game to be played in multiple different countries without people having to sign up for like PSN.
Sorry, I'm just looking up to see if anything changed now. And it
Yeah.
says Sony has now also blocked all those same countries plus 6 more from purchasing Ghosts of Tsushima Director's Cut.
That's so fucking stupid. It's so dumb. Why? Like, genuinely, there's no downside for them. There is no downside because at the end of the day, they're still getting the money. They are still getting that money. So yeah, thank you for that breaking news update there, Hishaf.
But it's so sad, especially like the way, like I was saying earlier, how everybody wanted to be a part of the community for Helldivers.
Yeah.
And now Sony's just actively stopping the growth of that community.
I mean, look, end of the day, it's night. But also, I don't think the biggest markets for Helldivers 2 is 100% in like the countries where you can get PSN anyways. I don't doubt that. I'm not thinking that it's going to change the game for them to make sales in like those other 177 countries. But like how sad can you be as a company? I don't know if it's just one person like hitting a button, but it's probably not like people evenly like steepling their hands together in like
How can we fuck up gamers today?
Yeah, it's not that. They're probably just people and they're looking at like the bottom line and the numbers.
Probably they're thinking like, why do we need servers for 177 countries?
Exactly. Rather, it's kind of like rather service the people that they have access to. Like, if let's say the USA, right? Let's just make their service even better so that those customers are happier, and then completely block out other customers from other countries. It's like also that's a guess. We don't know exactly the reason behind these decisions.
I mean, like, I know the reason why they, most well, not even most gaming studios, most companies in general want you to make an account with them, and that's purely just for data mining purposes.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. And potentially retention. Like, if you keep coming back to them a bit more here, and they're trying to take market share away from other... I guarantee Steam is out here mining my data like no one's business. Because it's also
Why does
the
this guy
only
keep
game...
looking at Honeypot 2? When is Honeypot 3 coming out?
It's Honey Pop, first of all.
Honeypot, sorry.
Get it right or don't get it at all.
Don't get it at all.
But yeah, I don't know. So that's depressing news number 2.
Not to be outdone,
Microsoft,
from out of nowhere,
a company worth $3 trillion, which, bear in mind, on the planet Earth, there are 8 billion human beings. That's times 10 times 10 times 3. So that's what, 300 times the number of people. No, it's more than
This
that.
is the most maths you've done since university.
And it's wrong. It is the wrong
Much like
math.
university.
It's a lot of times more than the people on Earth have decided to close 4 studios. 2 are smaller ones that I'm not too aware of. One of them,
Did Redfall? I can't remember the name.
their name is Arcane
Yes.
Austin, who are recently known for a live service game that no one liked called Redfall, that before it shut down had 44 concurrent players online across the world.
You one of them?
No. And previously known for Prey, one of the best games. They also, I think, contributed to the Dishonored series. A
Yes,
pretty
yeah.
illustrious fucking studio. And they also closed Tango, who's a bit on the smaller side.
But created probably one of the best games from Microsoft last year, and
Hi-Fi Rush, a very successful indie-ish game.
Beat 'em up, rhythm based game.
Mm-hmm. Very cool.
Really fun. I wish I could play it.
Don't you dare talk about Hades 2.
That's will be my other sad news.
Just to round it out. But so Microsoft closed 4 studios. I think one of them is getting absorbed mostly
Into Bethesda.
Into Bethesda. But here's the thing. And earlier you talked about Warner Brothers, right? And Suicide Squad. This is kind of just to exemplify the conversation around the only thing that matters right now is the bottom line. Like, we've talked about the layoffs in the gaming industry. The fact that massive studios, well-known studios, are getting closed says a lot. But let me just focus on Warner Brothers specifically.
Fuck you, David Zaslav.
The last 2 big games from Warner, well, technically Rocksteady and Avalanche, which are like subsidiary studios of Warner Brothers, we received 2 games in the last like 6 months. When did Hogwarts Legacy come out?
Last year.
Last year, towards the end of the year.
I got it for my roommate's birthday, which is around May.
Okay, first half of the year, Hogwarts Legacy came out, and was by all measures, a financial success.
Yes.
Okay, then this year, beginning of the year, we had Suicide Squad Kill the Justice
Yeah.
League, which came out in Feb, I think, and was a complete failure. So, but it has continually gotten updates and more support, and is slowly but surely crawling its way back. Executives at Warner Brothers have said they are choosing to no longer do like one-off games, regardless of how successful a game is, right? The success of a game does not matter. Live service games, a game where you can potentially infinitely get money from players, is way more important for like constant financial game over a long term, and means they can just have dev teams focusing on that one game over like 20 years, whatever it might be, versus building a game over 5 years and then having to start over again.
It's like, did they just discover World of Warcraft or something?
That was literally, I think World of Warcraft is the live service game.
Yeah.
Okay, it has been mining money from players over a long ass time. And so, like, think about Fallout 76 from Bethesda Game Studios.
Better game right now than when it was on release.
But think about how long they've supported that. It was a pile of garbage when it released, but they have continually supported that game over a long time, and it's slowly but surely ticking over into something that might be profitable.
I think it is profitable now, especially with the boon from the Fallout series. A lot of people, including myself, went out and bought a Fallout game.
So the bottom line is that the more money you can potentially make off of something is the only thing that's important. It is, if you think of like every game as a risk. If you make a game, it is a risk. If a one-off game like Hogwarts Legacy flops, that's a lot of money down the tubes. If a live service game like Suicide Squad flops, you still have the opportunity to turn it into something completely different. So, in terms of risk, a live service game is less risky than a one-off single-player RPG, whatever it might be. And that is fucking sad. that is so shit for the landscape of gaming, because it just means, for the most part, we are most likely going to see so many more live service games that just try to hemorrhage money from their player base. Like Battlestate Games, who's been in fucking beta with Escape from Tarkov in early access for, I don't know, 7-8 years now.
Yonder Dev, 10 years.
But yeah, so Arcane Austin. Okay, that's the thing though, because Redfall is a live service game, or was a live service game.
A very
but
poorly performing.
But like that is the example of a live service game flopping and being dropped, because even that can be like too bad. Like there is apparently a limit to how bad something can be before it gets dropped. But then Microsoft is like, okay, Arcane Austin, doesn't matter how like illustrious your backlog is of games, we're gonna drop you because it affects our bottom line. Our stockholders, our shareholders need to see like an uptick. So cheers, guys. Thanks for coming. Tango, even though you made a banging game last year, it wasn't live service. So off you pop.
Lots of awards was given to Hi-Fi. It was a very, very good game. Apparently, it sold really well, but it didn't create the merch that they were looking for it to sell.
They wanted like bobbleheads and all kinds of like... They wanted mechs and stuff to sell to their audience.
Because like one of the developers, or one of the heads of Tango Studios, basically like tweeted out a picture of all the awards that the Hi-Fi Rush had won, and he just captioned it, "Not enough?" ?
Spicy. That's very fucking spicy. I'm trying to think. Oh, and then what was the other article that came out?
The next day, after them axing Tango Studios, the Matt Booty, who is the head of Xbox Game Studios.
And remember, Microsoft, Xbox, Game Pass, all same.
Two different. Yeah.
It's all the same.
All right. Comes out with a very inspirational quote. What was that quote, Bjorn?
"We need smaller games," said Matt Booty, just after axing Tango, who produced a smaller game.
Did bro not get the memo?
So yeah, in general, the idea is like, smaller games, spend less money on them, less risky, if they flop. But then if we look at the indie space, barring some exceptions, and there are always exceptions, indie isn't better off. Like, yes, even we've been guilty of saying, all the creativity comes out of indie, all the cool ideas come. But you can look up literally in the last 6 months, of the larger indie studios, like 15 have closed. Indie is not a fun space. I even have a Reddit post up here from a guy. I'm trying to what was the name of the game? I just need to double check what it is. It's called Torn Away. Very, very cool little game. That's a story-based single player game. Won a good couple of awards, very positive reviews from the people that played it. His studio is still at risk of going under. Like, doesn't matter if you make a good game.
Need at some point, unfortunately, you do need a publisher to come in.
So they do have a publisher, right? So
a big publisher, or
Hawthorne Games. I don't know.
Sounds familiar.
Either way, it doesn't matter how it doesn't matter how good your game is, unless it is also successful, in terms of disgusting sales. It doesn't make a dent in the landscape.
So they don't need it to just break even. They need it to go how much further?
I can't give you an exact number because I don't know.
From what you've researched, would you guess it needs to be popping off immensely?
The best way I can think about this is us as individuals, right? So think if all three of us worked on a game together, how much do we, let's say we, just as a nice round figure, because I don't want to do tough math, imagine we all three of us needed 15 grand a month for rent and food, whatever, to live. Okay, that's 45 grand a month just for the three of us. Okay, an indie game, at the very least, would take a year to develop from start to finish. Depending on what it is, sometimes you can push them out faster. I get that. I'm not saying, but like for a ballpark, that is 12 months of 45,000 rand a month. Okay, so what is that, Hushaf? That's 490,000 rand. Is that right? Can
Sure.
someone? No, it's 540,000. My apologies. It's 540,000 rand for a single year, to just develop the game. So it needs to make back that amount of money, at the very least. Which, if you sell it for, let's say, I don't know, it's an indie game, so which is like 100 rand generally, on like around $5 on Steam. We would have to sell how many? We would have to sell 5,450 copies of the game to break even. And that's a lot. That's a lot of games, guys. That's a lot to be selling. That's the best way I can think about this example. And then we would have to even do even more than that in order to make a profit. Because if we don't have a profit, we've just paid our expenses.
Yeah.
We won't be able to continue going in order to make our next game. So then you think, okay, as an indie dev, what is my other option then? I gotta make a mobile game with in-app purchases. I need to make cosmetic purchases, or you can purchase gems for whatever thing you want to build.
Yeah.
That's why even indie is beholden to these scummy things of in-app microtransactions. So many microtransactions, making things incredibly difficult to get within the game world. So, like, you don't want to have to grind, so you buy these bundles. It's everywhere. It's all over the place. Subscription-based shit is literally, it's everywhere, regardless of where you turn. So I do not have exact numbers, unfortunately, for what you would have to make.
Because I know, like, at least when it comes to movies, if a movie breaks even, it's unsuccessful.
Yeah.
If it makes anything 10 million plus, it's considered a success.
Okay. Does that scale? Like, for instance, a Marvel movie.
They don't care. As long as they make any type of profit, it's considered a success.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about 1 million?
You spent 1 million.
No. What if your profit is 1 million?
Popped all the champagne, man. We did it. We made it.
Oh, that's what, $333,000 bonus for the 3 executives.
Yeah.
For sure.
David Zaslav. Fuck you.
But yeah, so
yeah.
That's kind of where we stand in terms of gaming, right? There's a lot of layoffs, and from what I've seen on on articles and in a couple of YouTube videos, it is not the end.
I've looked for at least for Microsoft. I've tried to look into it a bit more, because when you have such a Hi-Fi Rush was really well received, and it seemed like whatever would come after its sequel would probably do immensely more than what the original did. So I tried to look into exactly what were the exact reasons for it to be getting cut. One of gaming journalists came out and said the reason Tango was axed was explicitly because they had released a successful video game and were pitching a sequel that would have necessitated new hires. That's not speculations. That's literally what we're being told. You can't reform the leadership that thinks like this. And so if you look deep into that, why? You need to look at Microsoft and all their acquisitions. Right now, it's a 5-headed beast of Microsoft trying to integrate Bethesda, Activision, King,
Blizzard,
and Blizzard all into one. And they were some long-time Xbox workers who've been in the team since the Xbox 360 days, said that we used to be a team of around 300 doing all of this. It is now a team of 30,000 people and still growing as we try to integrate these 5 different studios.
And remember, every time you because these studios don't have the studio will have a structure that mirrors the structure of the thing they're joining, which means they are going to be overlapping jobs all across the board. Okay, so not only is it restructuring people's roles, they're gonna have to fire people to for roles that are just the same one, but now it's just for more people. So acquisitions do not result in more jobs. It normally results in things getting cut down for the most part, because jobs become redundant. But that is, hadn't read that article. That's fucking horrid.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. But so those same 2 insiders were saying it's no longer Xbox games. It's now Microsoft games.
Okay.
So it's more Microsoft execs have been taking a more commanding, not priority, but they've been like interjecting themselves more into Xbox, because when they had the acquisition of Bethesda, Green Arrows,
Mm-hmm.
Bethesda, Green Arrows. So every time they've acquired a big studio, their stock market shares have gone up a lot.
Okay.
And I think her name is Sarah Bond. I think she
Sarah Bond.
yeah, she's the current executive at Xbox and Microsoft, and she's the one who's been making all these big decisions. And it seems she was on some Bloomberg interview yesterday, where the interviewer asked her directly about Tango and why she made that decision, and she danced around it. She spun like no one spun before. She was trying to gaslight the interviewer, asking about like feelings and emotions that go into things. It's just like, oh, what the fuck, what? But yeah, it's not looking good. Phil Spencer's kind of also been left holding the ball, because it's not him that's making the decisions, but he's getting the brunt of the abuse since he is the face of Xbox. But his legacy will be defined by what happens now. If he can, because he's been promising I think he took over 10 years ago officially, with the promise of being more focused on gamers.
So no one gets into games to make money. Like, genuinely, yes, you can make good cash if you're like art director at a big studio, whatever. But for the most part, if you are a developer or some sort of a like artist, or you are an implementer of some kind, whatever you are, odds are there's a role that you fit in a different industry that will make you double, if not more, amount of like your salary. For the people that make games, get into gaming because they love games. They will love making games. They love playing games. And that's the people that make the stuff. And then the people making the decisions are the ones, or like the people, making the decisions are oftentimes the ones that are making decisions based purely on the bottom line. They're not the ones that love games necessarily. They're the ones that are just there to make it profitable. Sometimes the betterment, a lot of the times to the detriment of a game. And it's like super frustrating that so many people that don't actually give a shit about games are in the gaming space.
Phil does.
No, I'm not. Sorry, this is not directed at Phil Spencer, by the way. This is that you have faces of companies that get so much shit. Todd Howard, for instance, gets a lot of shit, but he is a game dev. Like, Todd Howard is first and foremost someone that wants to make cool fucking games, but he is also beholden to arrow go up or arrow go down. So the people out there making the stuff never deserve the hate, I don't think. The people out there making the decisions purely based on financial gain or financial loss, those are the ones that are oftentimes causing the games you love to turn out just as shitholes.
Yeah. It goes back to what you were speaking earlier. Like, I don't think any game dev goes into making a game being like microtransactions.
Yeah.
That is something from the higher ups.
Do you know that's what happened to Redfall, hey? Because this Arcane Austin, they were, they had the success of Prey and other games before that. And then Redfall started being put into development, which is a live service game, which was super hush-hush. So when people were interviewing for Arcane Austin, they thought they were like interviewing for the next Prey game or the next like big blockbuster kind of vibe from Arcane Austin, not realizing the game they would then be put onto was a live service game. Okay, so that was happening. So people were then disappointed to be working on that, and the veterans of their studio that had been with them through all their like top tier games before that hated what they were working on at the time. So comparing the credits from Prey to Redfall, there was a roundabout 70% turnover of staff. And that is a red flag as fuck, you know?
Yeah.
That's no industry as 70%. I'd say a 50% turnover in an industry is a
Bad.
massive red flag. A 70%, that is like sirens blaring.
That is somebody who has lit the building. Well, first poured gasoline everywhere and lit it up,
Yeah.
waiting for the insurance money.
They, like, for the most part, gamers don't want to make live service games. Sometimes they do. Like, Helldivers, I'm sure, is objectively cool. And
But
for the
that's
most
a
part-
community-driven, like, live
Yeah.
service.
So it's gamers, people that make games generally
For the most part.
don't want to make live
service.
because also oftentimes mean just you spend way longer. Like if as an artist, right? I don't necessarily want to be drawing the exact same thing for the next 10 years. I don't want to be drawing cosmetic skins for Fortnite. That's not my vibe. I'm sure there's people that specialize and do want to do that, but there's also a lot of merit to wanting to work on new projects, build new IPs, that kind of thing.
Build your own skill set.
Yeah.
You're gonna get bored doing the same thing again.
Exactly. So, man, it's a bleak landscape at the moment, and there's not a lot of hope to it getting better. But
Wow. Nintendo. No, I mean the only happy thing that was like Nintendo's like, yeah, within the next year you'll get Nintendo Switch 2. Woo.
yay! Well, within the next financial year. But I guess there's no help just ragging on and like being a bit bummed about everything without
Well,
maybe providing some sort of
I've got
way to
s-
handle with it.
I've got some happy news if you want.
Okay.
To the end.
I mean, I did just want to say that, like, and if you do want to change this landscape, voting with your wallet,
Yeah.
buy games that you like, okay, and
Uninstall the bad ones. Review bomb the bad ones.
like,
Oh
just-
yeah. Hi-Fi Rush received a reverse review bomb, where everybody was positively reviewing it. So now it's the highest rated reviewed game on Steam now.
that's redundant. Highest reviewed game.
Yeah, whatever.
Oh wait, what?
Best
Highest,
reviewed.
highest rated?
Whatever. Yeah, you know, you get what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
English.
Any happy news to round out this?
Okay,
very
I've got
good
two
discussion?
happy news.
Okay.
One is about Tyler One.
Just talk about it. I don't care anymore.
All right. So if you don't know about Tyler One, he's a very popular streamer who predominantly does League of Legends. He is just built different. 10 months ago, him and his brother were playing chess, and his brother absolutely destroyed him, which led to him being someone who's a total novice. Potato? I'm carrying on. Led him to be like, all right, I'm going to learn how to play chess. So he's learned one opening move, and he's been using that move and perfecting it ever since. 10 months from when he started to today, he is now 1900 elo in chess.com, which puts him in the top 0.5% of chess players in the world.
On chess.com.
On chess.com. But everybody uses chess.com.
No.
Grandmasters.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
That is.
He's doing this while still grinding it out in League of Legends and being one of the best players.
Do you know what his like claim to fame is with League of Legends? Besides being generally quite good.
Wasn't he called like the Scourge or something?
So he has taken is it called a hero? They're called heroes, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Champions. He has taken every single champion to like the highest ranking possible in League of Legends, which is a miserable feat. It is a miserable thing to want to do.
And I know he does that in a solo queue. He doesn't do it in duos or stacks. He
Mhm.
just goes in with randos and is like, I'm going to fucking own this shit.
Yeah. So he does three things. He plays League of Legends, he plays chess, and he gems. That's it. That's all the man does.
And, well, while still learning to be the best chess player in the world, he also recently had a daughter. So he's been balancing League of Legends, becoming amazing at chess, and
a family.
a family man all at the same time.
And still remaining shredded.
And still remaining shredded.
Man.
It's you know people say we all have the same amount of time in a day. It really doesn't feel like that with Tyler. He somehow cracked the code. I saw a tweet being that fucking dent in his head somehow activated his entire brain.
Do you know that's one of my biggest fears? Sometimes when I just feel my head and I'm like, there is a bit of a dent here.
I need to stop wearing my headphones.
Yeah. But okay, what was your other piece of happy news?
There is a top 500 Overwatch player in NBA who is the star player of the Dallas Mavericks.
What's his name?
Luka Doncic. Doncic.
Dolce.
Doncic. Doncic.
I feel like I know the name.
Oh, he was very famous because he was like a 16, 17-year-old in the NBA equivalent in Europe, and he was just tearing it up for Real Madrid. I think he became the youngest ever MVP, and now he's the star of the Dallas Mavericks. If I were to describe his playing style, he is a young white LeBron James. It's so weird in like NBA, whenever like there's a white guy that's really good, they always want to compare him to another white guy who was really good in the NBA.
Oh, I think I've seen. Oh, he's a super nice dude, isn't he?
Yeah, he's super chill.
Yeah, I've seen shorts of him on YouTube.
His nickname is Hookah Doncic, because like during the off season, with every other NBA player is like putting in the work in the gym, getting fucking shredded. He's just there smoking hookah, and then he turns up in the first few weeks and just like fucking tortures everybody for 50 points.
you can take the you can take the boy out of Slovenia, but you can't take the Slovenian out the boy.
So yeah, he they're in the semifinals right now of the Western Conference of the playoffs, and every game is a best of 7.
Mm-hmm.
So in the first game that they played against, who are they playing against? Who's Dallas playing against? Fuck, can you look it up there? Why can't I remember who Dallas are losing to? Oh, they're playing Oklahoma City Thunder. And in game 1, they lost. And he went straight to Overwatch and he was just playing. Instead of like getting into the gym, getting some shots up, he was playing Overwatch. And he hit top 500. And in game 2, he went supernova and they won the game. So now everybody doesn't respond, like everybody doesn't refer to him as Dallas Mavericks, Luka Doncic did whatever. It's like top 500 Overwatch player scorches the Oklahoma Thunder.
We claim him as our own
gamer.
Okay, so that's the happy news, but that does also bring us to the end of our episode today.
Aww.
I have been Bjorn.
I've been Shav.
And somewhere, I think taking a dump has been Kieran. I don't know. What about? Do you have anything to add about what we talked about? Maybe.
What do you think of the diss tracks? What was your favorite diss track? What was your favorite line from the diss track?
Specifically of Hushov's diss track to Joe Rogan. If you have anything at all, if you want to contact us, you can contact us on all the socials. We are on X, we are on Instagram, we are on Twitter, we are on the YouTubes. Deezer nuts.
No, we are on Amazon.
Wow. What's his name? Bald guy?
Oh, I was gonna say Todd Howard. It's Bezos.
Jeff. Jeff's our best mate.
My name is Jeff. I got his.
But yeah, please feel free to leave a rating, a like, a subscribe.
Leave a comment, hit the subscription button, press the alarm bell, please.
Our outros are getting so unnecessarily long. We really need to build a script to make this go faster.
We just need like a catchy outro line.
I don't have a catchphrase. I don't know. Do you have a catchphrase?
Until next time, level up. Cringe!